Welcome back to your Monday morning on your Feel Good Breakfast show. Oh my goodness. Okay, so listen, it's that time of the day when we're talking about relationships, especially as relationships and money. And Dr. E was talking about financial infidelity just now. We actually have a call. I think this paper mark pen has got people thinking now.
Anonymous from Cape Town. Good morning. How are you? Ooh, there's a bit of a problem with the line there.
All right. Well. Okay, we're going to try and get Anonymous back on the line, but first, we wanted to find out how couples actually deal with money in their relationships. So we hit the streets to find out what the opinion was.
My opinion on money in a relationship is that you try and split everything more or less 50-50.
It's supposed to be 50-50, however, in the day and age that we live in, people have different views. Normally it's what's mine is mine and what's yours is yours.
Well, my husband earns more than I do, but we share everything. There's no separate accounts, we have one account.
It can be 50-50 or equally shared, but it depends on the month, the day. It should be balanced on the situations of life.
Wow, so we've got Dr. Eve here with us, and we're talking about relationships and money. Now, the general consensus on the street, or rather 50-50, is that the partner that is earning more and the one that stays at home and decides to look after the kids, there's a bit of a power struggle there. What are the ground rules, or what ground rules should couples be setting when it comes to situations like that?
Yeah, I have such a big thing around this, Leigh-Anne, and I really am clear around with my couples that if the person stays at home, and it usually is the woman, she's got a job. Yes. And she's got to get an allowance. She's got to get a salary because there has to be respect for the kind of job that she's doing. It's an intense full-time job that she's chosen, or they have decided together to take on. So she's got to have something called dignity. Yeah. And she's got to have self-respect, and therefore she shouldn't be getting little handouts or little money for bread and milk next to the bed every day.
Oh, wow, people still do that?
She's got to have the dignity of also learning to be able to manage and take responsibility for finances or for running the household, which is what her job is. He may run a company, she's got to run the household. So
she's
give her the
taking care
dignity.
of your children.
Yeah, she's taking care of children, and she's taking care of managing the house. I mean, the fact is that people you really can do way better in life if you have two people who are managing a household and there is an ability to be much more successful. So honor this other person who is at home and managing your household. So give her or him a salary every single month so that they have the dignity and, as I say, can take responsibility. And it's part of the budget. This is how much we're both going to be earning. And you just really talk about it. But as I say, those are the difficult conversations. And how it happens, in my therapy room, it creeps into the sexuality. Because a couple may present to me for couple therapy, and they may be saying, well, you know, I'm not really interested in being sexual. And we'll kind of unfold it, and get down to the core of what is it. And you'll often find it's because of the money situation. He's withholding money from her, so she withholds sex from him. Or she's withholding sex from him, so he's not putting money into the kitty next to her bed. I've heard these beautiful stories, you know, give me some sex and I'm going to pay you every week, or every time we have sex, I'm going to give you some money.
Now, Dr. Eve, the caller that we had earlier on, Anonymous from Cape Town, the call was basically they both come from backgrounds of scarcity.
Right.
Now in the relationship, one wants to spend, one wants to save, and of course there's massive conflicts coming. How does one deal with an issue like that? Yeah,
it's one of those difficult conversations of how do we negotiate. With any single conversation, if you have an ability to communicate well, to be able to, I always say that, you shouldn't have any difficulty talking about anything, whether it's sexuality, whether it's money, whether it's how do we raise children. The ability to communicate, to be able to say, this is my emotional story around money. This is my emotional story around money. Respecting that they're different. They have two different stories, which are very emotional. And so how are we going to find a compromise? How are we going to find a negotiated environment in which we're going to benefit? Because it's about benefiting the relationship. But people, and I acknowledge it, have enormous emotional, psychological difficulties when it comes to money.
Indeed, and as you can hear, of course, money is a big issue in our relationship. Now, of course, this goes to show just how much value it holds for us. But how powerful is money compared to looks or personality when it comes to actually choosing a partner? Well, we decided to find out.
In the world we live in today, it's all about status, let's face it. So I would say no looks. And average when it comes to money, because you're not looking for someone that's rich, you're looking for a proper person, a human being.
I'd say rather someone with looks, as money isn't really a factor when you're happy in a relationship.
I'm old enough to know looks can fade and money can come and go. So I think it's personality and the things that last, and that is integrity and personality.
Looks will be more important than money. We can always make money. You can't make looks.
I think most women go for a man with money, but that's because they don't earn their own money. I've been in the situation of a man needing money, so I would say it's not looks or money, it's heart.
Well, there you have it, personality, hey? That's
Nonsense.
That's the most important thing, Dr. Eve. I tell you what, we do have a caller on the line right now. Peter, good morning.
Good morning, it's Peter speaking here from Mossel Bay.
Fantastic.
My
Thank you so much
biggest
for the
problem is, and thank you. First, I want to say congratulations on a wonderful show. I enjoy every morning.
Thank you very much, Peter.
The problem is, my wife and I, she was getting more money than what I was getting. And the thing is, we had big conflicts with that because every time she would say, oh, I'm paying more and you're not doing your part. And, you know, even if you're paying your part, nowadays, it's sometimes the woman is getting more money than what the men get, and it's completely, we're divorced after that because of the problems of everything fighting about money.
You know,
And that is, most of the problems today is money is the root of all evil, you know. A person can't, you try your best, but, you know, nowadays work is scarce, you know, and the money you get is not good enough, you know, for the whole family.
Sure.
Thank you so
very
much,
for
Peter.
sharing.
Thank you for sharing your story with us, Dr. Eve.
Yeah, I agree. I think that there are also gender elements that are involved with the story. Is that here Peter had his world kind of turned around where the woman was earning more. And I think in our country there is still a lot of discomfort around that. We're not used to that yet, where women earn more, and so men feel quite emasculated with that. What do you do with that? And the difficulty here was that, you know, she kept throwing it in his face. One way of countering that, because I think it's cool that women earn money, I don't want to ever put that down, but I think one way of countering that is saying, well, what other value can I bring to this relationship? And you heard him saying, she was saying, you don't do anything. Now, it doesn't have to necessarily mean that you don't bring in the same money as me, but let's divide the task so that then you are feeling like I am adding value, like I contribute much more to running the household or to managing children or to managing the finance. What are my skills that I can bring in that I feel that there's equality and that she's not all the time going to throw in my face, well, it's not just about money, the actual tangible quality of money, but the other things that I add value. And those have to be respected as well. And if a couple can't find that, that's where the difficulty is going to come.
Dr. Eve, thank you so much for
Such a
shedding light
pleasure.
on this topic. But I think at the end of the day, let's remember those words. Noma kanjani wetali wami, ngeke ngikushiye, sofa silahlane. We must stick together, eh?
That's right.
Leave
And
this main thing.
communication is everything. Over to you to find out what else is happening on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.